Hi guys, welcome to Mark Teaches Music. This is Mark Teaches Music. My name is Mark Teach. No, that's not my name. My name is Mark Black. This doesn't seem loud enough. My name is Mark Black, and you're at my improv workshop, session 30, which is crazy all by itself. That there would be a session 30. So if you want to holler out, you'll say something back. Say something. Anyway, so here we are. And there's a link in the description for all of the charts, as well as how to, depending on your instrument, how to play in these two songs that we have. And if I were you, I would have downloaded them in the past hour and printed them up. It's easier to work with if it's just a piece of paper, unless you have, a couple of screens. I got a couple of screens, but I'm packed. I've got so many things on these screens to do this. So anyway, point is not that, but so you got the charts, and you should at least pull them up and look at them, because they'll help you play, and it tells you what scales to play. And if you're a bass player, a guitar player, it has the patterns to play. So so anyway, and so there's a link there in the description. And today's the 18th day of April. Oh my gosh, the whole year is a third of the year is almost over, and I want you to have fun and be awesome in this year. And so that's exciting. So the point here in this here workshop is we're trying to learn how to improvise better. And improvising is as simple as just playing a note or two, literally just a couple of notes, and as difficult or as intricate as whatever, Larry Carlton or Pat Martino or whoever. I mean, I don't even want to bring up his name, Tommy Emmanuel, but I'm just saying, it can be super intricate and also very simple and very rewarding and fun. And it's like you're not limited to the music, glued to the music. So we're trying to get better at it. And I know that you can do that. It's a real simple thing, and it takes some knowledge, and it also takes being willing to let go and use the force. What is it? I can't think what it is. Yoda. Okay. So anyway, so if you got a request for a style that we haven't done, I've tried to mix them up, and then like sometimes I get stuck for different things, and a lot of times the first thing I hear is like, oh, that's it, that's what we should do, and then it's like, well, so anyway, a different style, a different instrument. If I play the instrument or own the instrument, I'll try it, I think. And again, I feel free to do multiple caveats. If I have a degree in trombone or been playing trombone for 20 years, I would not. But if I don't, and then just messing around with an instrument, So anyway, but I don't have a bunch of instruments. So anyway, but if you got something, just send me a comment in there. And if you like this, hit subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, and please invite other people and share this. And also, send me money, with always a favorite of mine. Send me large checks or vehicles and boats, stuff like that. And so when we're ad-libbing, which we're fixing to do, like I said, the links are in the description. Don't just sit there and watch this video. Because the idea is for you to improvise. And I mean, you have never come to this or never been to any of the improv sessions or improvise at all. You may want to watch a couple of times and then give it a shot. But in reality, you can, with the instructions and the charts, as well as, I'm talking about the list of scales and stuff and things I'm saying, you could jump right in, and you should. Mostly I'm saying don't sit here and watch this. Start playing. Make mistakes. Discover things that don't work. And do that. Now, you should shoot your questions like, hey, Tom. You should shoot your questions in, like, I can't, you said this and it's not working, blah, blah, blah. I'm playing the A scale with 7 sharps, right? Things like that. So shoot your questions out quick so that we can actually change them and respond. I'm not talking about the Q&A part that's coming up at 8:30. 8:30 we'll do questions and answers. Hopefully as many answers as there are questions. But right now I'm talking about questions about improvising. What should I do? What's a good idea? Those are very important. So don't be put off by styles you don't like or songs you don't like. Some of these songs, once I get into them, when they're playing them, I'm like, I don't like them as much as I did when I was putting it together. So you make it awesome by your great soloing. And that's a great thing to do, a great thing to attempt to do. And the same thing, if I'm playing an instrument you don't particularly like or you don't play, maybe I'm doing something, very likely I'm doing something on my instrument that you can't do on your different kind of instrument, just because instruments are different. And they have different abilities, things that are easy and hard for them. So if you might hear something that somebody plays that I play on a different instrument than you, and go, oh, I never thought about playing that way. So and when I'm playing, don't play. Listen and think about what you'd like to do, and think about, okay, I'm going to do this. Oh, we played that. Never want to do that ever again. Or that was pretty cool. Let me try doing that myself. And the idea, the most simple idea in learning how to improvise in jazz, not erudition. What is the? It's not tuition. It's teaching. I can't think of the cool word for it. But anyway, is for me to play something. So if I go and you go back, you try to play that call and response, and the idea of what we're doing is just the same idea. It's just a little longer. We're trading 4s or 8s, number of measures. So anyway, all I'm saying is, it was my turn. Listen and think of stuff. When it's your turn, jump right in. Don't wait. And we want to listen and absorb the changes as the chords move. Sing the chord. I'm saying, you hear it, and it directs your solos. All these notes you could play, and some of them will be just super sweet. Some of them will be kind of off. Some of them are kind of neutral. And so we're trying to figure it out. And some of these, like I said, this is the 30th one, and there's 2 songs in each one, so there's 60 different keys and styles, and some of them have only 1 chord. Some of them have 3 chords, all in the same key. So so you can go back through them and find some that fits better. And if you're stuck, sing, or either listen to me and get some ideas, or sing to prime the pump. So the first song we're doing is Ventura Plaything. Ventura Plaything in the sunshine. And you need to, quite seriously, I'm saying that, you need to bring this chart up, yeah. So I'm going to bring this chart up, yeah. I hope that's a chart. And I can't see that very well. Ugh. Okay. So anyway, there's the chart. And for a C instrument, which I'm playing the alto sax, so I'm not in the key of C. C instruments in the key of C. E flat instrument like the alto sax in the key of A. B flat instruments in the key of D dog. Every single note in this song, every single chord in this song is every single chord in this song is in the key of C. We have B flat instrument key of D, E flat instrument key of A. There's not a note in this chord used that does not use the notes of the primary scale listed. Now, what I'd like to listen to one time. Now, remember we said we need to listen to these songs. And listen, I don't normally talk this fast. I'm just talking fast because I'm trying to get us to where we can ad-lib, and also trying to get a lot of information out. So I'm just saying, I want us to listen to it when you I was thinking about Snarky Puppy, listening to Snarky Puppy. And so the point is, these guys, boom, boom. Let's just say the UNT 1 o'clock band or 4 o'clock band, or whatever, getting new charts. Part of your thing is I can sight read better than you, and or I need to sight read, and so it's very, very tiny. Not how good the guys are, but what they're doing. They're being presented with many, many charts. So you have to read, and with that case, you need to be able to look at that song and say, "Hey, I can know what to ad-lib by looking at the chart." I haven't heard it yet, but for 98, 99% of us, including Eric Clapton or Joe Walsh, I'm just picking out names. And the idea is I'm absorbing the changes. Sudden reading is not the point so much as I know how the song goes. So anyway, let's listen to it. There's a chart in front of you. You should have it out. I may be able to remember to set it down, but I wanted to listen to it. And here it is. And it's got some little problems, not problems with how I laid it out. Yes. That's the F, the C, and the F, direction. See that? It's like going someplace and it doesn't quite take you where you thought you were going. Hear it? Repeats it. Repeats it. The Gollum speak. And again, F, E minor, and it holds it. Kind of building tension. Because you're like, and then this, we could call this the chorus if you wanted to. C, F. Now if I was to redo this chart, I would just want to say it's unclear when you started back at the top because the last chord is an F major 7 or G major 7 if you're a B flat instrument, and the first chord is the same chord. So it's a little, we're right at the top, but I should have done something to make it different. But anyway, so for example, when you hear this sound, ba 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 da da bum, ba 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 bum. So ba 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 ba. This chord ba 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 ba. That's the F major 7 if you're an C instrument. F A C E, G B D F sharp if it's and then here it goes to the 1 chord. There's the 1 chord. Ba 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 ba. In B flat instrument, D F sharp A, D F sharp A C sharp. C instrument, C E G B. And so anyway, that's it. We're trying to grab those changes and jump in and play with them. So we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to have to holla because it's a little, this song has pauses. This is from the original song. This is heavily based on Ventura Highway. They put pauses in there, which is great. Pauses that they're holding a chord longer than a normal 8-bar multiples of 4, 8, 12, 16. And that's cool because it makes it like thoughtful. You're like, you know, what's going on? Why isn't he going on? So I'm saying that when we get to that, it's a little awkward or trying to figure out how we would, me and you, divide up our soloing because it's like, well, it's not quite symmetrical. You know, I'll let you come in on the whole held chord that never repeats. Let me turn this down. Oh, let's see. Let's do this. Check. Check. This is not plugged in, I don't believe. Okay, we're not going to get anything out of that. Well, let's stick with this guy. That's pretty soft now. This is a saxophone, right? It's loud. So here we go. We're going to start this from the top. I'll try to talk in this microphone and try to give you a... And I will start with my... I'll start with my A major scale for me in this instrument, and C major scale or D major scale here at the top. Let me pull this up. Scale. Your turn. Go. I just want to comment. When I set this up, this song is it's like a middle song, since it's moderately aggressive because of the speed, and yet all the chords are pretty chords. So I'm saying the challenge is like, okay, this needs to sound kind of cool, kind of a little aggressive, and not like all pretty little music. So what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to continue because I'm going to play the blues scale, major blues scale. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's try that like this. And I'll go ahead and put the lower seven. So in the key of, for a C instrument, that would be I'm adding in a C instrument, adding an E flat and a B flat. D instrument, I'm adding in an F natural, not substituting, adding in an F natural, so I have F sharp and F natural, B flat instrument. And I've also got a C. I am substituting C instead of B flat. Let's just see what this sounds like. I'm not sure I'll like it. I thought the C natural worked pretty good. I didn't think the G, so the flat third worked well. The flat 7 did not, I thought. So there you go. Now I'm going to turn this over to you. This is at the, where it's got the D, depending on your chart, we're at the bottom half. Here, it's your turn. 4 chord. We're at the top. For 1 chord. Hear it. The minor. I'll go. We're at the top. 3rd line. 2nd line. Here's the 3rd line. Four chord. Minor 3. My turn. My turn? Top. Second line. Third line. Minor sad. I'm gonna stop that. Okay, now look, if you have any comments about that song, I would love to hear them. And like I said, if I was to redo this, I would have somebody going, the top is in 2 bars or something. Somehow I would indicate much better where the beginning is. And I thought I was very fascinated with the idea that now, if somebody's paying me money to solo, I thought the alto sax would be that kind of good blend between, like I said, this song is kind of aggressive. It's kind of got a little, yeah, it's pretty. Yes, absolutely, it's pretty. But it's also kind of like, hey, I'm a fairly aggressive dude, and I'm gonna sing my song, of love, or maybe it's I'm a pretty friendly dude and I'm being pretty aggressive about life. It was kind of in the middle. It's not completely pretty. It's not completely so it's not weak. It's not up in your face. It's kind of in the middle. And so the good thing about that is that we can experiment and figure out some things with it. And so I thought that the alto sax, essentially a reed instrument, would be a good, be strong enough to kind of carry it. But then when I was, my gosh, when I was doing the chart, it was coming out in F sharp. I mean, the sound, and it's coming out in, for me, F sharp, for you guys, A or B. And it was like, this is not going to work. And so it took 15 minutes to get that fixed. So it's like somehow I was trying to make it more aggressive. And the only thing the flat 7, the flat 6, the major pentatonic scale in the key of C, C, D, E flat, E, G, and A in the key of D, D, E, F, F sharp, A, and B. I don't know if they got any altos besides me. E flat instruments. So the point is that made it a little bit, but it didn't do a whole lot. So I had a little bit kind of unhappy with how that turned out. I kind of got Muzak, a little more Muzak-y than I meant to. So if you got any comments about that, questions about that, or statements, and gosh, I would love to hear that. But now we go to our other song, my next song, and it is Giddy Up and Drive. We did do this song 4 months ago, so you could demand a refund if you repeating. But it took me about 20 years to figure out that people don't remember things the same way that I do. So anyway, I doubt if anybody remembers this song at all. So this song, let's look at this. First of all, let me get this chart. Mo better. There it is. All right. Now it says it. Okay, cool. So this song is, let's listen to this song. So pull up your chart, I would suggest, in this key. And if this is in the key of E minor, and we've already said, B flat instrument, F sharp, E flat instrument, the key of B. So this is, I'm going to play acoustic guitar on this. And here's the sound. And now this song does go into other keys. Let's look at this chart. So it's going, and listen, I haven't figured out, somebody can, I haven't figured out a way to in the context of how much can be explained while we're trying to ad-lib, trying to spend time ad-libbing. How much can I explain, short of which I do. Hey, take lessons. Hey, send me an email question. I can't anticipate everyone's questions. People can ask questions and I can respond to them. And music, I guess naturally, is more complicated than just, I'm saying it's all in the other song was all in the key of C, and this song is all in the key of E natural minor, except it's got places that are not. So let's look at some of the places that are not. And boy, I wish that cursor was that big, but it's not. Okay, so these chords are actually all in the key of using E natural minor. Now, natural minor, just the one sharp. Right here, this chord does not. And how can I quickly say that? I don't quickly explain that. But what I want you to notice is when you hear this, your ear, the short answer, which is in one sense the ultimate answer, is that your ear says, wait a minute, something has changed. I'm saying this is good. There's the C. There's the C. What I want you to listen for is this B7. And it isn't here yet. Here it comes. Here it comes. Listen. Tension, tension. And again, I've been saying since I was born. No, I've been saying, so I'm saying that, hey, you guys, when you hear tension, you need to, how would it be tension? How would you get tension? You would get tension by, there's several ways, but one of the main ways, if not the main way, is notes out of the key. So D sharp is in the key of E major, but this is not the key of E major. So when that D sharp is in this B7 chord, the ear goes, not yuck, but like, And then there's a sharp 9, which is a D. So there's a D sharp and a D natural in there. So there's a clash, and your ear goes right on. Let's listen to some more, because it's just repeating now. This is line 3. Line 4. Here comes that B. There's the C. Here comes the A. I want to hear that. This is out of the key. Okay? Back to the key. Really G is our key. Here's another one. Out of the key. Back to the key. Here's another one. A. Here's another. Here's our famous B7. Punching this. Go back to the E, 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 E. Minor. Okay, so what do you do with that? You know, I mean, well, I'm totally serious when I say that someone has taken my picks. Oh, here they are. I'm totally serious when I say that that historically, people are doing that by ear, you know, and going like, huh, this sound here. Let me get something on this. Yeah. So I'm just saying it would sound like this, you know. That's those two chords. The first one, the C major 7 and the A7. So what would you do? Well, you can hunt around until you find a note that works. You can learn that the A7 scale is a A, a C sharp, E, and a G. You can learn that the A7 scale is only native in the D scale, and you can play a D scale there, which will come out A mixolydian. You can hit the note A, and I'm fixing. Actually, I need to get a guitar and make this happen. So. But you have to negotiate it somehow. So let's see if I got a sound. Wow, that is some kind of loud, huh? Ear. Hopefully that's not so loud, but here's the C. So we're ad-libbing along. And we get that A7. That's the notes of the A7 going. Or we can go, I can hit an A. So here I'm just negotiating somehow the changes. So if you listen, it doesn't mean you listen to get it right. If you listen, you have the opportunity to get it right if you sit and think about it. Here comes the B7. Line 5 coming up right now. C. Now look, I can go. I get in. So I can do a bunch of things, and I can do them thoughtfully. And so, all right. So here I am. I'm trying to switch to a view that you can see my big fat guitar. Right now you just see my big fat face. Here comes a guitar though. There we go. All right, cool. This is a guitar. That's weird. Okay, so bring that chart up for you, Sif. And we're starting in A. I'm starting first E minor, E minor. Now the notes of the E minor scale, natural minor. Same notes as the G major scale. And that's in the key of C. Key of A for B flat, key of E for E flat instruments. And here we go. And I think I got enough sound. Let's see, make sure my chart's not too loud. I'm gonna let that run just a second to see if it's too loud. But I'm going first. Seems awfully song. Okay, cool. Your turn. My turn. Your turn. I think it's a very cool song. Take another 8. Your turn still. And here comes my turn. And the song's pretty fast. You know, so a bunch of stuff going on. So if you feel intimidated by that, including me, again, you can wonderfully react the opposite way. Instead of feeling like I've got to play a lot of notes, go slower. And you can play slow, and it'll sound good. Here, I'm going to play. And I'm going to play slow. Give me a chance here. Also play right. Play slow. Your turn. You get another 8. Keep going. Same thing. Okay, here's what a straight up pentatonic sounds like. Your turn. Comes that back. Gonna do a different one. There. Back. And. Right. Hard part, your turn. Okay, I'm gonna go. Your turn. my turn. I want to play some low stuff. Your turn. Keep on going. Here comes your turn in the hard part. This is a B7 for B flat instruments. Back to C. This is an F sharp. Ba, 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 ba. Back to C. That chord. I'm trying to take the hard part. I don't know if this is. You keep going. Take the hard part. Okay. Hard part. Your turn. My turn. Your turn. Keep going. There's the A. There's the E. Back to C. There's the A. Back in the key of E minor. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. Let me put this up. Sounds like we're in a cave. Okay, here I am talking. I'm talking. Let's change the picture. Okay, cool. So, so that was I thought that was a super cool song. And that song, actually going to impinge on our first question, but is in the key of E minor and E natural minor. There's well, I won't go into that at any great lengths, but anyway, so that means that it's using either entirely or predominantly the notes of that scale, that A minor scale, that C minor, C major scale, whatever. And you have songs that are entirely in a key, songs that have a brief excursion outside of a key, songs that are spend enough time in a different, for example, it could be E Dorian minor, E Phrygian minor, E melodic minor, or harmonic minor. It all depends. It really depends on the chords, and so that makes it a little difficult to interpret. Okay, but that was our improv workshop, and we're coming up the next segment. So if you got any questions, put them in the comments, or you can send me an email at mark@dallas at Dallas. What's my name? Mark at Dallas Music Lessons. That's right. Okay. So anyway, and then if you have suggestions, like I said, for either styles or songs or instruments, send them to me, and then I shall be extremely happy to see them. Okay. So, however, now it's time for To Play and Sing. This is To Play and Sing, where you ask all your questions, all your musical questions, billions and billions of questions coming in. Wait, the chat, I can't even read it so fast. Hold on. I can't even see. It's making me dizzy looking at it. I want to look at it. Hold on. So this is session 43 of To Play and Sing. And I still want you to have fun and be awesome. And I'm trying to answer everybody's questions. So if you got a question, put it in the chat. I hate that word. I think I'll always hate it. And but the first question is, what do you mean by playing in a key? Historically, playing in a key just means that the place where you are is using the notes of that scale. A scale is a group of notes, and a key is everything you build with that scale. You can build harmonies, you can build chords, you can build melodies, and so that's what a key is. And the problem, if every song always was just in key X and that was it, and only use those notes, everything would be so predictable and so boring, and no one would enjoy any of that stuff. So I would not enjoy the songs. You would not enjoy your songs. There's several dynamics, several ways to make things exciting and interesting, and note variance is not the only thing, but it is very, very important. And I think it contributes to the intellectual, and I mean that specific word, intellectual complexity of a song more than speed. So more than the guy going, which I absolutely adore. A lot of bluegrass players, a lot of metal players, and many other styles are playing really crazy fast, but they're playing pretty much all in one scale instead of having to negotiate key changes. The key change seems to affect internal key changes in a song seems to affect the complexity of a song. The feeling of the song is complex, and I guess we could say in let's say country or bluegrass or metal, when the guy's playing really fast but staying in the key, we feel like that guy's really fast, not this song is really complex. So anyway, so when we say a song is in a key, we mean it uses the notes in that scale to make what it's doing. Now, the song we just did, let's take a look, see if I can pull that song back up, that picture. Yeah, here it is. So this song starts with the E minor, the E minor, and then it goes to C. So the point is, I said, hey, this song is in E natural minor, meaning using the notes of the G scale, when we'd look at it. And so the point, G, F sharp, A, B, C, D, E, E. And guess what? The notes for the C major 7, C, E, G, B natural, are in that scale I just said. So when it goes to that C major 7, you should be looking at this, it's still in the key of E minor, meaning it's not using a note that's outside of the key. And I said right there when it gets to that B7, that's using a D sharp, which is not in our E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. It's not in there. That would be a D, not a D sharp. So there we have to step out of the key. Now, did the song. Now I know you don't know this necessarily, but so the E harmonic minor goes E, F sharp. The only difference, it adds a D sharp. So it goes, or it exchanges a D for a D sharp. So it goes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D sharp. So did it go to E harmonic minor there? Sort of. You could say, I'm going to use E harmonic minor there, and it would sound exactly right. Or you could just look at it like, hey man, there was 7 measures in front of it, using only the notes of the E natural minor scale. I'm going to say it's E natural minor. That's why I put that chart, the one I put up on the description, says E natural minor. I put that chart because that's going to cover 7 of the 8 measures in that section. And one, I would say, hey man, is in E harmonic, E natural minor, and then right there you're going to change the D to a D sharp, or you could say it as E harmonic minor. Now, some songs, let's just say the second chord instead of being the second chord instead of being a C major 7/7 was a F sharp diminished, and let's say the next chord after that was that B7. Well, that is immediately grabbing notes from a different scale, from the harmonic minor. And so it's immediately proclaiming its harmonic minorness. So there's actually, it's not my fault, I did not invent music, but there's actually quite a bit. There's really 3 kinds of major scales. There's 6 commonly used kinds of minor scales. Most people aren't thinking about that. And all I'm getting at is that it's a little more complex than that, but the basic idea is what you would like to do is you can have a chart in front of you that would just say, here's the notes of this scale. Now, to be good at it, of course, you'd have to practice that and be comfortable with it. What you'd like to do, though, is now your ear's telling you, I told you your ear's saying, this is the wrong note, this is the right note. Go ahead and put your questions in there. Here's a place of tension, here's a place of resolution. Your ear is helping you with all of that. And you're excited about that. Man, look at my ear. And you're trying to interpret what your ear's telling you. That's a stinky place. That's a boring place. But as with working together with that is your eyeball saying, I understand these chords. I don't know. I have a chart that I made 25 years ago that has all the chords in. It's just not like some secret. Lots of people know these chords, the diatonic chords, or we call them normative chords, in every key. And the problem is I think it's easier to learn them if you understand the sequence, which is taking the notes of a major scale, a major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, and diminished 7. Is using the chords and look at the chords and saying those chords fit in this key for these 4 measures, or this entire song, or these 2 measures, or 3 beats, or whatever. I think that's the way to interpret it, rather than the Aebersold way of every chord is a scale. And I think that's just about as complicated as you could possibly make it. Although I know that on advanced jazz, hard jazz stuff, which really aggressive, harmonically aggressive, where there's keys are changing every measure, then that is probably the right way to go, because there's not enough unity, harmonic unity, to justify I'm only going to be in this scale for this key for 2 beats. So I should just learn the scale that goes with it. So anyway, but most music is not like that. So anyway, so you can learn those chords for every key, and then you look at the song and say, right here it's in this key. Now let's get rid of this picture. Okay, so all right, now I think, I'm going to run out of time. Here's a question. How do you make a rock musician? This is a great question. How do you make a rock musician turn down his or her volume? How do you make a rock musician turn down the volume? Put a chart in front of him. Yeah, that's how. How do you make a rock musician turn down the volume? Put a chart in front of him. Pretty funny. Musicians' jokes, right? Okay. So if you don't understand that, put it in the chat. I will chat back. Maybe I'll chat GPT, whatever that is. Okay. So now I'll go to this. I'll probably have to stop this question. So, and continue it next week. Do I have to do all these things you say, technical things, or that a book says exactly as they are said. There's a bunch of the humongous answer. So do I have to do all these things in this book, or that you say? Do I have to do them all that? And I have to do them exactly like they say? And the answer, the short answer is no, you don't. So, for example, watching, who was I watching? Oh, I know I was watching Tommy Emmanuel last week and playing with other people, and nobody's holding the weight. I tell people to hold the guitar, and I'm not at all concerned about that because all of those guys were thin, and they all have great hand position, and it doesn't matter. But so just talking about, you buy a book, I want you to listen to me on this. You buy a book, you ask me a question, you could take lessons, or you ask a teacher a question. What are you doing? You're contracting with someone to give you the best answers. Like, you've hired me to build your building, to repair your building, and I said, this is what you need to do to repair this building. Is that the only way it can be done? No, but you paid somebody money, so it would be a good idea to listen to what they have to say, and definitely try what they had to say. So, and just for example, the way I see it is everything that I tell people to do, like the way to hold your hand, hold your pick, whatever, is like, this produces the best results for the most people. That's what I consider good for lessons and learning. What gives the most people the best answer? So, for example, you do not have to play with the guitar on your left leg. You absolutely do not. It's just that most people, 19 out of 20 people, will struggle the rest of their guitar life because they're holding a guitar like this and their hands in a bad position, because they either aren't thin enough, or they're not thinking enough to turn their hand from this, trying to play, to this. And so it solves the problem if you just hold the guitar like this. And just don't forget about what I'm saying, the details of what I'm saying, left leg, right leg. I'm just saying, I'm telling somebody something, and I'm saying, hey, most people are going to succeed much more easily with this than with the exceptions. The rule will work better than the exception. So, so normally you should do what the heck you paid somebody to teach you to do, to see if it works, instead of acting like, I can't tell you how many students, and they're usually grown-ups, they usually aren't kids, they're usually grown-ups, and they're sitting there, they don't know nothing about music, they're not succeeding in music, but they're going to take what I tell them, and they're going to sift it through their, either anywhere from 0 to a 20th of knowledge and experience as the person they've hired to help them, and they've decided, I don't have to do that. I'll do this, this, and this. And I've seen people, just so many people, just spend 2 hours a day practicing, and they're just spinning their wheels, and they're accomplishing nothing, and they are not much. They're accomplishing not much, and it's because they're second guessing. And again, if I was in their field, then that person would be qualified to say, no, that's not a good idea. What you're telling me is I don't have to do that. But they're not in that field. And this is not a either pro me or pro musician, although it's about music. I'm just saying, if you don't trust your teacher or whichever your instruction source is, if you don't trust it enough to do it, then find another source until you find somebody you do trust. And you say, well, I do trust this guy. I mean, I'm serious, and I, if like Tommy Emmanuel he's a great guy, so it's like, if he could dumb down what he's doing enough for me to understand it, and he was telling me to do this. For example, he has a great little on YouTube, little tutorial on starting with the Travis thumb picking. So he's got a little tiny. He's even treating it like this is the only thing ever was taught, and here you go. It's pretty cool. It's not elaborate. So I'll trust him, and I should trust him because he's very knowledgeable and skilled at that. So I can see, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. So if you don't trust what the guy's telling you that you hired, whether it's a lesson or a book or a tape or whatever, then you need to, if you don't trust him enough to do what he says, I'm not talking about eternally, and it's messing you up and your hands are like this, then quit. But I'm saying if he's telling you what to do and it's like, if you don't give that 3 months to just rigorously, I'm going to try this to see if it works, then find somebody else until you do trust them. Because until you start doing what that person is saying, you're never going to know if they know what they're talking about. And unless you know as much as they do about the subject, in this case music and learning music, you really don't have, you're really being foolish to second guess them when you don't really know the details of that. You don't really know how do people learn? How do most people get past this problem? Because your experience would normally be very limited. So anyway, don't do that. Okay, so let's see. I talked about scales, what it means for a song to be in a scale, in the key of E, key of F, and there's nobody talks about hypomixolydian. It's another whole sheaf of things that Anyway, so it just means basically that the song is using chords from the scale. Everything in the song is built, most of the things in the song is built on the certain group of scales. Many songs modulate internally. Many songs have places where they don't modulate, but they go to a different key for a chord or two. Some do it a lot, like this last song we did it about 6 times, 8 times. The first song we didn't do it at all. And then we talked about how you make a rock musician turn down the volume, and we talked about do you have to do all the things the person's saying? And the good idea is that it's not. I'm not going to get on the do what the guy says thing now. I'm just going to say, so lots of people who are famous have a tremendous amount of skill, and it's not. What they did is they have great ear, they have great hands, so they do some of them. Many of them do things perfectly, but some of them will do things wrong and totally overcome it, because they're so awesome in other areas. And so the point there is, you in general want to do the things that make it easy for you to succeed, rather than trying to. I don't have to do that. Yeah, you're right. You could cut all the strings off your guitar and just leave one string and go ahead and play everything on one string, but probably not the best idea. Okay, so I'm Mark Black. This is Mark Teaches Music channel. First we had our improv workshop, then we had to play and sing our Q&A. And I appreciate you being here. And if you want information about lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com. And there's stuff about information about lessons. You can email me. If you have questions, you can email me. You can drop a chat right here in the chat box where there's all the kitty litter for the chats. And so anyway, give me a chat, send me a chat. And until I see you again next week, I want you to have fun. And look, I'm going to click this button and I want you to be awesome.